Hello there, my name's Adam Cook, and I'm joined by one Mike Stubbsy. You right, Mike?
Yeah, I'm very good. I am very, very good.
I don't think I've ever called you Mike before. I'm going to go back to calling you Stubbsy as of right now. And we are having a chat about a game people are, I think, probably quite excited about, but it's also slightly trepidatious because it's Assassin's Creed Origins, if people hadn't already worked out from the video they are seeing. You went down to that there Ubisoft, and you played, about half a day, 3-ish hours and a bit, I suppose, didn't you?
Yeah, it was probably close to 4 hours by the time we'd done.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was kind of. I'm not entirely sure whereabouts in the game. It was definitely not the first bit of the game, and it definitely wasn't the last bit of the game. But for Assassin's Creed, that's probably not that descriptive.
No, looking through the footage, of which we have a lot, I feel like it's somewhere in the middle. But then looking at it, because there's points where you're like level... Well, listen, we'll get into this. Let's get right into this right now. So there are points where, this is... So let me tell you what I've seen from it, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong. I think this might work the best way. This looks like Assassin's Creed. Oh, this is going to get people excited, and I don't mean to. But this looks like Assassin's Creed by way of The Witcher or another RPG. This looks like, and you correct me if I'm wrong, this looks like it contains colour-coded loot. This looks like it has a full RPG system in it.
It's definitely more RPG than like the old Assassin's Creeds. The loot thing is actually really interesting. There is kind of color-coded loot. So if you get like a purple drop, that's going to be better than the blue drops, and if you get like a yellowy gold drop, then that's like the best one that I managed to find. And you can kind of get the loot from like chests and stuff like that, and it seems to, I'm not sure if it's random chance or not, but I'd imagine it is.
Well, the actual loot. The chest placement. Yeah. Intentional.
The chest placement is intentional, but I'm not sure if the loot that you get from each chest is different or not.
If that's the case, if you're not sure from sort of 3 to 4 hours, I was going to say, because I'm looking at like you playing through, there's like hideouts, I think they call them. Basically, it's a Ubisoft thing now, isn't it? In every game, there's a base. You go in, you kill people, you loot it. They look intentionally placed, the chests, and it comes up on the screen like kill the captain, get the treasure chest. Do you reckon there are sort of some special hideouts that have got like this is where you'll find a purple, you know what I mean? Or do you really get the impression that it felt just completely random?
See, that's the bit that I couldn't decide, because the thing that kind of literally the first thing that I did was somehow I managed to miss like the marker that was right in front of me when you start the demo that you're meant to do that gets you up to the next level that allows you to do a lot of the things. I just skipped that, kind of run towards the sea, and then I wasn't the sea, it was a massive lake. But it was basically the sea, and kind of didn't find anything to do for a while. And then the helpful person who was like behind me guiding the demo, if you got stuck, was like, "Oh, there's like a little side thing there. It's like a sunken shipwreck. You can go and get some loot." So I like sailed over to that, dived down, found this chest at the bottom, and then like it was literally the first thing I did. I pulled out this like purple bow that is. The different types of bows, there's like certain ones for hunting, certain ones that
so they look like they've got different scopes. Well, scopes perhaps the wrong word, but they do look like there's different levels sights. Of zoom on it. Yeah.
So I get the scope, and I get this like bow that is just massively overpowered for the level I am.
Okay.
But I think all my other gear at that point was like 24 rated maybe, and this was like 32, 33. So it was quite a big jump.
You're making it sound like Destiny.
Yeah, no, it was very much like Destiny.
Okay.
With how the numbers kind of went up and stuff. But like that bow could just one-shot anyone that I found on like the easy missions where like the stuff that is my level, that bow could just literally one-shot anyone from pretty much the other side of like anything. So I feel like if it was totally procedural and random, then maybe I wouldn't be getting something quite that strong. Based on like that area.
So it's almost like they purposely seeded that there for the demo, so to speak.
Maybe, yeah.
It looks really cool. It looks smoother, Mike. It looks like there's a bit where it's an Assassin's Creed game. You're jumping from the heights. You're jumping into bushes, and you were sort of. There's one hideout where you were kind of stalking these guys, and you were in a bush, and I don't know what button you pressed, and I'm gonna guess it was left trigger, but you almost jumped out of the cover of the thicket, and like you were looking down your sights of your bow, and it all seemed more a lot smoother, more like a game like say something like Horizon Zero Dawn.
I didn't play Horizon, so I couldn't tell you that much.
Okay, but, well, even like a Tomb Raider, that kind of more third-person action-y game, but like the kind of smoother style, you know what I mean? Like you're out of the thicket, you're looking down sights, and you were following him with your bow, and then you sort of thought, actually, this is a bit of a risky shot. I'll put it back into cover. You went, but that was all. It didn't seem. It just seemed smooth.
Yeah, that's definitely like the biggest improvement that I would have to say over the last Assassin's Creed is that, and I think the setting also helps this because obviously it's a lot more open than like London was, but
yeah,
it definitely feels like you've got more than one option when it comes to kind of combat stuff. It's not just, oh, I've got to run in and block every single attack and then stab them. It's like, I can actually stealth this. Like, there's some bushes over there that I can hide in, and then this guy will walk past and then I can drag him. And as I do that, I can like fire the bow and then go into bow combat. And it works really well. That was kind of, I mean, obviously, because I love the Far Cry kind of hideout things, the little hideouts where you got to go in, and like I was obviously going to like them, but I think they were probably the highlight of the demo purely because
they looked fun.
There was one that I kind of went in that was way too high level for me,
right?
And so I started off like the first time I did it, kind of just ran in on my own and was like, oh, I'll fight these guys with my sword, it'll be fine, and then die within a second. And then when you die, it kind of respawns you in the same area but away from where you died, so that you're not stuck in a constant loop and you can just run away if you want. And the area that it respawned me in, there was like a kind of procedural side quest event where some friendly people were fighting against some not friendly people. So I helped the friendly people, killed the people that were attacking them, and then they just like decided to follow me into this hideout thing, and I just ran in and like killed everyone as I kind of snuck up to the top, looted the chests that I needed, and like took out the one person that they didn't kill. And stuff like that was actually really cool. That was what made it feel more like typical Ubisoft game and not necessarily Assassin's Creed. But that kind of stuff it wasn't limited, but it wasn't what I spent most of my time doing. I think my biggest complaint from the whole thing was like, I don't know if this was again a problem with the area that we had, but started at like level 12 and it's like, oh yeah, the first main story mission that you can do in this area is level 15. So it's like we had to grind 3 levels just doing side quests, and there wasn't that many of them.
Right.
Like you can get XP for doing other things.
Yeah, you were getting XP just for headshots. Like I saw something like 1,000 XP pop for a headshot, which I don't know what that means in the grand scheme.
Yeah,
but...
that's not, but like it wasn't much. Getting kills was like pretty much nothing, whereas doing these side quests would give you like 10 times as much. It's like, right, if you do 3 side quests, then you're probably going to go up a level. But this area that you're in, there's probably only 2 side quests that is your level, so you've got to grind out that other third of a level to get to the next level to do the next 2 side quests. So I feel like that could be a problem. Like if that's in the final game, then it's going to be a lot of level grinding to get to where you need to be, which is going to, like, we had a 4-hour demo. I think I did 2-3 story missions, like if that.
Okay.
And the rest was all just grinding to get to the level to be able to do them.
I suppose it's difficult because you don't know how much of that demo was tailored toward previews, but it's the sort of thing we're not going to be able to judge until the game's finished, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but what I will say on that is that I think I'm a little bit in 2 minds of whether I liked what they showed or what they didn't, because they showed us like the area that we was in was kind of a northern part of the map. It was a relatively big area, but it was nowhere, like it wasn't even a quarter of the map. It was probably struggling to be like an 1/8 of the map. But it was very much a case of there wasn't kind of any of the Egyptian landmarks there. They're like you could see the pyramids, but you couldn't go to them. Like you could see things out in the distance when you looked across the sea that looked cool, and so the area that we had was kind of all like farmland, like wild lands. Kind of every building apart from a couple were like 1 story high. So kind of the traditional Assassin's Creed gameplay where you're climbing up the buildings, jumping from roof to roof, like dropping onto people to assassinate. We kind of couldn't do that because of the area that we was in, which made it feel a little bit weird in the sense that like, while yes, this feels good, it's like not what Assassin's Creed is.
You seem to be sort of creeping around, but not like like you said. You mentioned the London from Syndicate, and like you very much could be rooftops. You know, stalking people from the rooftops. This, what I saw of what you captured does look very grounded almost, which is weird.
Yeah, no, it's like almost all grounded for the demo that we had. And there was like one kind of townish area that was relatively big that kind of had a few buildings that you jump between and stuff like that. But it's all very much, there doesn't seem to be a good reason to climb up a building unless you're A, trying to spot something, but then you've got like your Far Cry Primal Eagle to do that for you.
Yeah, the Eagle,
or if you know that you can air assassinate someone from the thing. So like there was one side mission where you had to go kill. There's a lot of killing the taxman. Like people in Egypt really don't like the taxman. Because I must have killed at least 3 during the demo. But on one of these side missions, like the taxman just goes up and knocks on this door, and I was like, well, instead of going to fighting his 2 guards and then getting into a fight with this big ass guy, I could just like jump on the roof and then air assassinate him. That was the only kind of Assassin's Creedy moment, where it was like, yeah, actually I've climbed up something and dropped down. That was kind of the only time that I did it. So it felt really weird. Like I kind of went in going, yeah, I really like Assassin's Creed, and then came out going, was that even Assassin's Creed?
Again, difficult to tell, but I mean, there are two quick points or discussions I want to have with you. First of all, I want to talk about the combat, and whichever order you want to do this in. I think it might actually make sense to do this the other way around. I was going to talk to you about the menus, which also look incredibly like Destiny, and because I've only at this point in time just sort of skimmed through the video to have a look at, so I know what I'm talking about when I talk to you, and I got the impression it's, again, like Destiny, like you have certain. It's almost like you can equip weapons in this part and this part, because there's a point where you switch to like a long spear, which you probably won't see in this video because you sort of are flailing it around quite. Well, listen, there's videos on the internet of games journalists being bad at games. We don't want to be one of those, so we probably won't use that bit. But it looked. What I didn't get the sense of, because again, only skimming through, was can you switch weapons like on the fly, like D-pad wise? Like, can you switch back to like a cutlass, or once you equip the spear, is that your weapon? Do you know what I mean?
So it turns out, yes, you can. I only found that out 10 minutes before the end of the demo when the dev who was watching me just tapped me on the shoulder and went, "Oh, I thought you'd already figured out how to do that." So basically, what it is you've got like your armor slots and stuff like that I think you can just upgrade, but for weapons there's like bows and there's your like, swordy type things, and so for the swordy type things I kind of didn't experiment too much with them. There's just different types. You equip one like a spear is obviously good for jabbing people at long distance, while like dual wielding swords is good for close up and not great for blocking, stuff like that. And then the bows is like you always have one of the 4 different types of bows. Like one's for hunting animals, one's for firing 5 arrows at the same time, one's for rapid fire, and one's that precision one that just seemed really powerful. And you can equip 2 of these at a time. So in that menu, there's 2 slots, and you can have like 2 different things. And then one will always be your primary, one will always be your secondary, but you can flick between them with, I think it is the D-pad, it might have been something else. So you can kind of chop and change between 2 at the same time as you're in-game without going into a menu. But if you then get a loot drop, you've then got to go into the menu to equip it, to swap it out. I
mean, those were Destiny menus as well. We can agree on that, right?
Yeah,
like, they were straight up Destiny. I mean, listen, I'm not. I find it weird that all these publishers and developers are making games for games consoles that like would be better controlled menus with a mouse. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's
just
totally
make it like when you're using in the menu, just make it stick to the box, the UI box, if you know what I mean. Don't make me move a mouse cursor on I find that weird. But that's neither here nor there. Finally, then the combat, because obviously I can see what it looks like, but I can't get is what it feels like, and it looks different. It looks heavier, but what is it? I mean, I'm trying to look for a comparison really, because I've heard people compare it to a game series I'm not going to mention on a YouTube video for fear of getting shouted at, but I have heard people compare it to that.
Yeah, no. It's right. So they gave, as whenever you go and play a preview event, they give you like a nice speech beforehand.
Of course.
I try and butter you up to tell you all the great things that they've done.
This is your first time playing a video game, isn't it?
I've heard it weird that they kind of glossed over the combat on that. They were like, "Oh yeah, no, we've totally changed the combat," and then that was pretty much it. And so after that, you kind of go, you're like, right, okay, Assassin's Creed, know the deal. Jump into a load of guys, press block, press attack when you block, and then one by one you can fight them. That just doesn't work anymore. Like, if you're fighting 2 guys at once, your best bet is just to run away, because you're not going to win that fight.
Let's be fair, right? That was always stupid. It was always the one stupid thing about Assassin's Creed combat was you could have 7 guys surround you, but they take it in turns to attack you. And from a gameplay perspective, okay, but it also is really stupid, right? So that doesn't happen now. They're not going to wait it and take it in turns to attack you then.
No, definitely not. Like,
Okay, good.
If you try
really?
and do that, you will die straight away.
Okay, good.
There is a little bit of that. You could still definitely tell that's where it's come from. That's its DNA.
Right.
But I think like now you hold. I don't quite figure this out entirely, but I think the way to do it is you hold LB on an Xbox controller to like raise your shield, and then I think that can like block damage coming in. But if you want to like properly parry and open them up for a counter attack, that you've then got to hit B at the same time as holding LB as that attack comes in, and the timing was quite difficult to figure out because like if they've got a different weapon or they're a bigger type of enemy, then you different timings and stuff like that. But even then, that didn't seem to be reliable enough. Like if you did that in an old Assassin's Creed, as soon as you then hit that attack button, like no, even if they were like 180 degrees behind you, you would spin round and
the animation
like,
takes over for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, like that kind of doesn't happen anymore. You've kind of got to aim your attacks a little bit more.
Okay.
And even in general, like I found that I was like missing attacks if I was going in. But all of it is RB and RT on the Xbox controller, and that's heavy and light attack.
Oh,
so, like,
really?
If old mate he's got like a shield, then a light attack he's just going to block it, and you're going to look like a muppet. So you've got to do a heavy attack to like try and knock his shield away, and then as he's done that, you can go in for a lighter attack, or if you've got time, like chop his head off with a heavy attack, stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's definitely a better combat system.
It certainly sounds like the game we won't mention.
Yeah, I think it's just a case of you've got to get used to it. And by the end of the demo, I was kind of getting used to it, but I feel like because we were kind of just thrown in and gone, here you go. If you had the tutorials at the start, it'd be much easier to kind of pick up and stuff like that. So I quite liked it actually. I think it's definitely different. My first thoughts were like, whoa, this isn't Assassin's Creed. Like, I want my Assassin's Creed combat back. But by the end of the demo, I kind of just about got the hang of it. The one thing that I did notice that isn't necessarily combat is that kind of your hidden blade, which is like staple of Assassin's Creed, kind of just doesn't exist unless you're jumping in the air.
Right.
Like,
it didn't originally though, did it? Like in the very first game, it's only like a few games in where they brought it that you could kind of like run through a crowd and just hit a button and it would do it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like I don't think that's possible. And also crowds aren't existent, which is really weird. Like after Unity, which was absolutely crazy with its crowd, like you'll be struggling to see maybe 20 people on screen.
Okay. I'm fine with that, I think I'm fine with it. It's a weird thing, right? Because I don't know about you. With Assassin's Creed, like I was quite glad they decided to take some time off. I'm ready for another one. But what you're telling me sounds like they have taken that time to change the game. It's still Assassin's Creed, but it's also kind of not.
Yes and no. Like I think I said to you like when I just finished the demo, like you're like, oh, like, what did you think of it? I was like, oh, it's Assassin's Creed, isn't it? Like you could still tell this is Assassin's Creed. And there was a part of me that kind of went in hoping that this was like, nah, we've just totally ignored the however many games we've made over the last 10 years. We're just going to make a new game that has Assassin's Creed in the title, has similar themes, but is very different, and it's not that much of a change. It's still very much Assassin's Creed. If you played this and Syndicate back-to-back, you'd go, yeah, no, I can see this is in the same franchise and that kind of thing. It's different enough to have got me interested, and I think even if I wasn't an Assassin's Creed fan, I'd probably be interested again.
Okay.
But it's just not that massive change that I think a lot of people were hoping for.
Okay, that's fair enough. Listen, if you like this video, obviously you can subscribe and make sure you hit the bell as well so you get a notification when a new video goes live. You can follow Stubbsy at Mike Stubbsy on Twitter, and also go over to godisageek.com where you can read some written impressions of the very same game we have just discussed. Stubbsy, thank you as always for your time, my man.
Thank you for having me on again.
And we will see you in the next video or whenever you choose to watch. Bye-bye for now.